Hello Georgetown, I'm Beverly Enos and you're watching Spotlight Georgetown. You can find us Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Other times as well, but those are our normal times. This is part of your cable TV. This is your station. You actually own it, you pay for it. So if you'd like to come down here, be in the hot seat, or use equipment, use the computers, it's a great choice for someone that's retired and would like to do something that's just different. They will train you, they have all the equipment, no experience is necessary. So think about joining us in that way. Now today we're talking to Bill DeRosa, and he is the superintendent of the Whittier Vocational and Technical School. Is that what it's called now? Or
that is.
Okay,
Whittier
that's the actual name.
Whittier Tech is easy.
Okay. A little bit about your educational background.
Okay.
First.
I myself personally have been at Whittier for 23 years. Prior to that, I was a teacher, both an English and special ed teacher. For the past 6 years, I've been superintendent. My degrees are in educational leadership, special education, and English. And as I said, I'm completing my 23rd year at Whittier Tech.
Now, why did you go for superintendent? Move out of the teaching.
Depends on the day of the week that you ask me that question. In the beginning, back about 23 years ago, I became a special education director. Special education was my passion after teaching for a few years. And I came up here to Whittier Tech, had a great experience, great faculty, student body, excellent communities, as you know, Georgetown being one. And when the former superintendent retired 6 years ago, I was offered the position. I had been her assistant, and if I was interested, they were not going to do a superintendent search, and so I decided I would try it.
Good. You like it?
Very much, very much.
Do you miss the instant contact with the kids?
I do, but on really difficult days, I'm lucky that my office is in the actual facility, so I can take a walk, and what I do is I make sure I take a walk, go to classrooms, go to technical areas, because the kids are why we do it, and that can kind of bring the focus back when you question, why am I doing this?
Now, when I was growing up, vocational schools were way different than they are now. Way different. Vocational school was where you sent the kid that couldn't get along and get through high school.
Right.
That's not true anymore.
That's not true anymore. We aren't the old trade schools that our grandfathers and parents were used to. We've become much more technical. The expectations of our students in terms of academic caseload and passing of MCAS exam is the same as in a comprehensive high school. And I always have to compliment our students, because our students are doing it in half the time, because half of their time is in a vocational technical area and half of their time is in an academic classroom. So they're making the same academic accomplishments in half that time.
Wow.
And technology has changed all of the vocational technical areas so much that there are such strong expectations, industry certifications that are required. And again, technology is built into all 20 of our vocational technical areas.
So to become an electrician, you have a lot of special exams and licenses, yes, and things like that that they have to pass.
There are code classes that they have to take, certain amount of code hours that they need to have to be able to take exams to come out from high school and do the additional work to earn their master's licenses. So yes.
You said you had 20 different programs. What type of programs that we would not expect to hear?
Well,
we know about the culinary arts.
Right,
and
does everybody.
I've had lunch at the Poets Inn many times, which is a wonderful place to go for lunch. So what are the other types of things that they have? Well,
recently what we've done is we've added another component to culinary arts. Over this past summer, late spring and over this past summer, we received licensure, Chapter 74 licensure and certification in hospitality. Oh. So that specializes culinary a little bit more if there are students who want to do events planning, if there are students who feel as if they want to work in or manage in the hotel and restaurant industry. It kind of helps with that. We've strengthened our electronics robotics program. As a matter of fact, we started a robotics club called FIRST, which is the acronym because it's a nationwide club, in robotics in which students can compete and things like that. And of course, green technology is always an area we're expanding. Green technology is very much a part now of auto technology, of electrical and plumbing. It's a required expectation that students have that experience and background. So we're not necessarily always opening new programs as much as we are enhancing what we already have and changing with the times to meet the needs.
And these are the types of things that high school students, public or private, would never get to have.
That's right. Working the amount of time and the type of equipment that students get to work with, they wouldn't be able to work with an industry under 18 years old and without supervision, which they are able to in our schools. It's hands-on, real-life experience. They're in an actual work environment in a technical setting for 5 days. And using all the equipment and learning all the concepts and working with other students. And we simulate a work or an employment environment, getting them ready for the real world, and whether it's going into a career after graduation or going on to a 2 or 4 year school, we're providing them that experience.
Now, I teach in senior centers, and the Tewksbury Senior Center is now putting up a second building for woodworking classes, things like that. And it's being built by the vocational school in that area.
Excellent.
It's being built by the kids.
Excellent.
They have somebody else there with them. They have the teacher,
right,
but it's the kids that are doing all the actual work.
Yeah, we focus a lot on community service projects as well. In Georgetown, we've done some holiday shows, Georgetown Senior Centers. We've done Valentine's Day luncheons, the students, again, from culinary getting out. And I know we've worked with also the Council on Aging on doing some work on awnings and doorways in senior housing. So yes, and I think that's one of the strengths of that program, is not only giving students the experience they need, the hands-on experience and learning that they need, but it also shows the community who we are and what we're all about, that we don't just show up once a year at a town meeting with a bill and say, here's our bill, and people are sitting there saying, like, who is Whittier? Like, what are they all about? Yeah. This way they actually see that we give back to the communities, we support the communities that support us.
How many communities?
We have 11, 3 cities and 8 towns.
Okay. That's a lot.
It is. It's a large district.
Now, how many students are in the school?
This year we're up to about 1,280.
Wow.
We're pretty high this year.
For 4 grades?
In terms of enrollment for all 4 grades, yes.
Okay. Now, you have something special coming up this year. It's
yes,
your 40th anniversary.
Yes.
So, now, what are you doing for your 40th anniversary? How are you celebrating it?
Okay, we did a few different things. A couple of weeks ago, we did an anniversary party at DeBorrow's in Haverhill, and that was a fundraiser, both through ticket prices, through an ad book, through raffles. And we're proud to say right now we've raised about $20,000 for Student Scholarship Fund, which we're really, really thrilled. One of the themes of our open house that's coming up on November 3rd is a journey of Whittier through time, where they went through, students in graphic communications went through old yearbooks and actually took some photographs and made collages of the different years and how we've transitioned and changed over the years. So there are a few things we're doing out there to commemorate our 40th.
So people that come to the open house can actually look for themselves if they graduated?
Definitely, yes.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yes, that'll be on display in our cafeteria, yes.
Okay, now, significant changes that have occurred in the school over these 40 years. You've got 40 years of history is a lot of history.
It is a lot of history. Some programs have come and some programs have gone. For example, many years ago there was a boat building program. We had fashion interior design, we had painting and decorating. But again, part of our focus in vocational technical schools is to serve the needs of the surrounding areas. And as those needs diminished and enrollment diminished, those have changed, those have gone away. However, other programs have come in, or other programs have strengthened, like office technology, telecommunications, electronics, robotics, CAD drafting. So we've kind of changed with the times. We've kind of met the needs. For example, recently, one of my responsibilities is serving on the Merrimack Valley Workforce Investment Board. And there's an upsurgence of manufacturing in the Merrimack Valley. So as a result of that, we've expanded our machine technology program, both with an additional instructor, with new equipment, hoping that, again, we're kind of catching that need and meeting that need in the community. We also have partnered with Northern Essex Community College to do an evening program for manufacturing, where they take the coursework at Northern Essex and they do the practical hands-on with us on Tuesday and Thursday evenings.
Now, with these kids, what is the actual program like? I mean, if they've, what does their year look like from month to month?
A student who comes a student who comes to us, freshman year is a little bit different than the next 3. In the freshman year, one of the things we do, by the way, I should mention, our weeks begin on a Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, you're in academics. then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday in a technical area. The reason why we do that is so you only have one weekend in between instruction. And a student that comes as a freshman experiences all 20 vocational technical programs for roughly 5 days. Sometimes if there's a holiday or whatever, it might be 1 day less. At the end of third quarter, they choose their top 3 choices, and they experience their first choice for their fourth quarter of their freshman year to kind of really gauge it, get more in depth, and decide, yes, this is really what I want to do.
Or no, it's not.
Or exactly, or no, it's not, and then they look at their second or their third choice. Then for sophomore, junior, and senior year, they remain in their first choice. And if it is the same first choice as when they were freshmen, they're co-op eligible in the third quarter of their junior year. In other words, they can actually go out into the workforce during the vocational technical week. It's supervised. Our instructors visit. We make sure it matches our curriculum. It's an evaluated program, but it's very, very successful, and lots of those co-op placements become actual employment for students after graduation.
So they almost come in as temp help.
Yes.
And then if they really like it and the people like them, you've got a possibility. Do you do actual placements?
Yeah, we do. We do placements as part of our guidance, and many of our co-op placements become placements.
Yeah.
And I also have to say many of our co-op employers are previous Whittier students, previous Whittier graduates that are either working in the industry, owning their own business, and there's a real strong bond between those people that have graduated and the people that are attending Whittier now.
Now, again, going back 40 years ago, things were way different. If you couldn't get in anyplace else, you could go to the trade school.
Right.
That has changed.
Yes, that has changed.
Dramatically. Now, what is the admissions process now?
Okay, we have an admissions requirement. It is a state requirement. It's not our own. It's not genuine to just us. All 26 of the regional vocational technical schools have basically the same requirements. A student fills out an application during the 8th grade. The application comes to us in January at the end of second quarter. We look at the grades for 7th grade and that half of 8th grade that they're up to. We take a look at attendance. We take a look at behavior and discipline reports. We also have a profile section that's filled out either by guidance counselors or teachers from the middle school, and there's a student interview. So there are 5 components to the application. All 5 components can earn between 0 to 20 points. Any student who earns 67 points or more is admitted. And if a student does not meet the admissions requirement first time out, instead of just declining, we send a letter explaining what you need to improve on between now and June, or if it didn't happen between then and June, the beginning of next year, because we will accept halfway through the following year, halfway through the January of a freshman year. So students are given a few chances to be able to come, because we want every student who can meet the admissions requirement and wants to be there to be there.
But they have to work for it.
Yes, they do. They have to work for it.
And when they're in school, the education part, they have to work for just as well. The MCAS and all the rest of it.
Right. There are 8 academic periods, no study periods. And I'm very proud to say that this year, our 10th grade students, which obviously now are 11th grade, but last year's 10th grade, 100% of them passed the English Language Arts MCAS exam on the first try, 96% advanced and proficient out of that 100% pass rate. And for the last 8 years, 100% of our senior classes have met MCAS graduation requirements.
Oh, that's nice. Now, how many of the kids go to college and how many go to work?
Last couple of years, about 70% have gone on to 2- and 4-year schools. Our positive placement rate is at 93%. The way that you measure positive placement is students either going on to 2- or 4-year schools, students going into the military in an area that's related to their technical area, or students going into employment that's related to their technical area. And we've had a 93% positive placement rate for the past couple of years.
And that's very high.
Especially given this economy. We're very thankful for that.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges that Whittier faces in the future?
Money, I think for all of us, all of the communities, finances are a concern. Making sure that we remain state-of-the-art, because equipment's very expensive. Our equipment requests last year came in from technical areas anywhere from $5,000 to $200,000, and I honestly could not afford a $200,000 piece of equipment last year. So money continues to be a challenge, because you want to make sure that the students are using the kind of equipment that they will be using upon graduation, whether it's going on to college or to a career, that they're actually able to use, that it's not obsolete. The building is also 40 years old. So we've been able to keep up with repairs here and there, but it's getting to a point where we need to do more. We're looking at a feasibility study and examining the physical structure and see what needs to be done. We did a roof replacement my first year as superintendent. This past year we're finishing up in a wastewater update of the wastewater treatment facility, which was over $1 million project.
Okay. What goals do you have from here on?
Goals to continue to grow, to continue to have more in-district students attending, to continue to meet the needs of both, the Merrimack Valley and the North Shore, and to stay viable so that when students are leaving, they're leaving with the tools and they're leaving as lifelong learners, and to continue to meet all those challenges.
Those are very high goals.
They are.
They are. Now, what are you most proud of at Whittier?
I have to say I'm extremely proud of our student body. I think we have an incredible student body, some great, I keep calling them kids. They're young men and women. They're fantastic students. The staff is very dedicated, hardworking, because we do lots of extracurricular activities, whether it's sporting events or shows and those kinds of things, and staff goes far above and beyond what those stipends might provide for students to be able to partake in. And the administrative team is really strong and committed, and everybody has the students as their focus. And I think that's what I'm most proud of.
I don't blame you. I would be too. Happy 40th anniversary.
Thank you.
Don't forget, November 3rd
Right.
at Whittier. Thank you very much.
From 1 to 4 o'clock.
From 1 to 4 o'clock. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm Beverly Enos. This is Spotlight Georgetown. Thank you for joining us. Bye for now.